YouTube, how's it going? NateGreat321 back again. Yes, it's me. I'm alive. I haven't made a video since November of 2011, and here we are in July 2012, almost August 2012, and I'm making my first video since. So for that, I apologize. I did lose some subscribers in that time. Obviously, you'd kind of expect that. For those of you that stuck around, I really appreciate it. I'm still active on YouTube. I'm still watching a lot of videos, keeping up with you guys. I just haven't been making any just because, I don't have any great excuses, but I just haven't been picking up many games. I haven't had a lot of time to play games, as much time as I would like. With work, I'm away from home for extended periods in time, and even when I'm here, I'm working nights and weekends a lot. So, unfortunately, that doesn't really, work well if I want to have some good gaming time. But over the summer, things have lightened down a little bit. I've had some time to go home. I visited my parents, and when I did that, since now I have a little more permanent residence here, I brought back a lot of the retro systems I used to have that I've since put kind of in storage, put away. So now I have my ColecoVision with me, my Dreamcast, my Saturn, a bunch of systems like that. So pretty much the whole retro collection is here with me. And that sort of reinvigorated my interest in gaming, especially retro gaming. So we'll see, maybe the summer's winding down a little bit, but hopefully I can make it out to some flea markets or retro shops or things like that. There aren't too many in the area. I haven't been checking Goodwill or Salvation Army a ton lately, but maybe I can get back into the habit, and we'll see what happens. No promises, though, as far as videos or pickups, but I'm going to do my best. I actually picked up recently a very cool system off eBay, so that'll be the next video I make, showing that off. A very cool system. But right now, let's just go ahead and take a look at the games I got. We'll start with the physical games I got, and then I have another list I can talk about that I got through Steam, digital copies. So we'll start with two retro games that I picked up. I found a retro game store somewhat nearby. Pretty standard pricing. It's not a huge selection. It's sort of out in the middle of nowhere. It's a little bit of a haul, so it's not really worth going to quite a bit, but every once in a while maybe I'll drop by there. No fantastic deals. They're barely less than eBay prices. They know what they have. It's a used game store, but not too bad. So I picked up two games while I was there. A Super Nintendo game, Super Double Dragon. I think I got this for $5, something like that. Pretty decent game. It's a side-scrolling beat-em-up like every Double Dragon game basically, but for the Super Nintendo. There's another Double Dragon game on the Super Nintendo that you probably want to avoid as a fighting game based on the cartoon that came out during the 90s. I want to say it's like Double Dragon 5 or something like that, so don't get the two confused. This is definitely the better one out of the two. Pretty standard side-scrolling beat-em-up, good Super Nintendo graphics, pretty decent music, made by Trade West. One of the games I really enjoy on Super Nintendo is Battletoads and Double Dragon, and that's made by the same people, so obviously if you've ever played a beat-em-up, you kind of know what you're getting into. Decent deal for $5, fun game. I kind of picked it up on a whim. This one, I paid a little bit more than I usually like to pay for an NES game, and it's Ninja Gaiden 3. I think I paid about 15 or 20 bucks for this, which is kind of a lot for an NES game. But at this point in my collecting, I'm not really going to be able to find a lot of good deals on the games I want. I have pretty much all the standard Zeldas and Marios, Mega Man, those sort of games that I want. And the ones I need are a little rare, a little harder to find. So sometimes when you find them, you just kind of got to spring on them. You can't wait off and hold for the flea market find or the Goodwill find, especially since I'm not going as often. So on this, I just found it. It's actually a little less than eBay price. I think in eBay it goes anywhere from maybe 25, 35 bucks, something like that. It's definitely the rarest out of the three on the NES. So I just sprung on it just because I had the first two and I needed to complete the trilogy. It's a cool game, just as good as the other two. I still think I prefer the first one out of the three, but it's still a fun game, so I figured why not complete the trilogy while it was there in front of me. So those are the only two retro games I have since November 2011, sadly. So we'll go into three more modern games I have. First one on the PS3, MLB 12 The Show. I buy these baseball games every year. They're always good. I really enjoy baseball, huge baseball fan, so I play this game constantly. This is honestly probably the game I've played the most since my last pickups video. Next game, I believe I got these two around Christmas. I think I got a Best Buy gift card, so I bought these two, I think the week after Christmas. The first being Modern Warfare 3. I always enjoy the Modern Warfare games. You know what you're getting into at this point. You're not going to get any surprises. It's just sort of a fast-paced multiplayer shooter. It has a campaign mode, and those are enjoyable, but that's not really why you buy the game. You buy it for the multiplayer and that aspect of it, and that's pretty standard fare. They add little things here and there. at this point, if you're a Call of Duty fan, you're going to buy these games. If you're not going to buy the game. So I usually don't spring on those right when they come out. I'll wait a couple months, hopefully catch a deal. The new one that comes out, we'll see if I buy that. But I still prefer Battlefield over that for sure. But it's a nice game to have, kind of as a change of pace. If I don't want to play on the PC, I can just, power up the Xbox for a couple quick matches or something like that. The next game, criminally neglected by me. I played it for a good couple hours right when I got it, and I sort of put it on the back burner and haven't got back to it since, which is really unfortunate because I was enjoying it. That's Zelda Skyward Sword for the Wii. First Wii game I've gotten in a long time. I have, it's another one of those systems, everyone says it, it's criminally neglected, just like this game. But I was hoping it would sort of reinvigorate my interest with the Wii. It would, get me into my backlog and play the games like Metroid Prime trilogy that I haven't touched or anything like that. But unfortunately, just, I don't know. It was decently fun. The controls were okay. They were more precise than I thought, but they're still not perfect. There's still times, especially when you sort of get in trouble and you have enemies around you and you sort of start panicking or whatever, that you're swinging the Wiimote and it doesn't really respond the way you want, and it ends up in some frustration. But other than that, the graphics are pretty good. The gameplay's alright. It's a pretty good Zelda game. We'll see if I can't get back into it at some point. But unfortunately now it's not really high on my priority list. But everyone loves the game, and it's not a bad game. But just for now, it's really not a priority for me. So those are all the physical games I got. These next few games are all games I got on Steam. Steam is great, honestly. If you're a PC gamer or you have a halfway decent gaming PC, it's essential because they have awesome deals every day pretty much. And if you wait long enough, you can catch a good deal on a game. And that's pretty much what I've done. I got Dead Island is the first game I got. That's I want to say it's a year or two old already. And I wasn't too interested when it came out, but then I heard people give reviews of it and they said it was really good. And so it's sort of, I put that in the back of my mind and said, alright, I'll hold off maybe if I get it for a decent price, kind of the $20 to $30 range, something like that. And then I completely forgot about it, and it showed up on Steam, I think on a weekend deal or a daily deal, for I think it was about $10, $5 to $10, something like that. So I said, oh yeah, I'll jump on it. And so I downloaded it. It's a pretty cool game. It's a mix of kind of Left 4 Dead, but a little deeper than that. It plays like Left 4 Dead gameplay-wise, but you gain experience, you can find different weapons and things like that. So there's a little bit of depth to it. It does get sort of repetitive. I think I may be halfway through it. I haven't really gone back and played it. It just got really repetitive. Honestly, it wasn't as deep as I would have liked it. It wasn't as much to it. After a while, you sort of get, it starts to get old. But a decent game for the price. I mean, $10 isn't that bad. So picked it up, tried it. It was pretty decent. Graphics look alright too on the PC as well. Next game I got, I think I got it for about maybe less than $5. It was Limbo, which is a game that originally came out on the Xbox Live Arcade. It might have come out on the PlayStation Network, I can't remember. It's an independent game. It's a sort of puzzle platformer, but it has a really interesting art design style. Everything's sort of shadowy and black and white, and it has just a really cool aesthetic to it, and that's kind of what's the selling point in the game. The puzzles themselves, they are sort of difficult, but I beat it in one sitting. Honestly, probably maybe took 2 hours, something like that. It's a pretty short game, but still enjoyable nonetheless. Pretty cool, just very artistic, nice, independent game. For the price, it was definitely something I wanted to try. I heard good reviews when it originally came out, so I'm glad I held off and waited for that cheap price. It's good just because of, it's a once-through game. You want to experience it for sure, but it's not really something you'll probably go back and replay after that. So if you can get it cheap, I would suggest trying it. And that's Limbo. The next game is another independent game. It's Bastion, which also originally came out on Xbox Live Arcade and PSN, and got great reviews. People loved that game. And that was another one I sort of put in the back of my mind, saying, alright, I'll buy it when it gets cheap. And so I think I got it during the summer sale, which just recently ended over this last week on Steam. And I want to say, man, I can't remember how much it was. I want to say it was about $5, something like that, $4. I haven't played it a lot. I only put in maybe 40 minutes. It's okay. It's not really what I expected. It's kind of a isometric view, sort of maybe like a hack and slash game almost. But you get different weapons, and you sort of have to go around just collecting things. There's not much to it. There's not as much as I thought there'd be. Maybe I have to dive a little more into it to get into it, but I'm not sure. It's okay. We'll see if I go back to it. But that's Bastion is the next game there. Next game is Microsoft Flight, which is a sort of regrettable purchase at this point. It's a flight simulator. It's free to play, but the catch with a lot of free to play games is there's downloadable content, a lot of extra planes and areas and things like that that you have to buy. So I've been looking for a flight simulator for a long time because I used to love Flight Simulator back at around 2000, 2001 when I got it on that computer. So much fun. I love those games, and I've always loved flying games. So I was looking for a decent one. I tried it out. It's not super in-depth, which turns a lot of people off, but honestly for me I kind of like that. It's a little more easy to just kind of pick up and go. It's just enough where you can, have dials and knobs and do that kind of stuff if you want, but it's not just there's not a huge learning curve, so you can't even, take off. Yeah, it's easy to just sort of pick up and play and get the hang of it. Unfortunately, they recently canned the whole development of the game, so there will be no more DLC coming out for it, and there's no chance of user-created DLC or patches or mods or things like that in the future. So we're sort of stuck with the product we have. Steam, during the Steam sale, they released all the DLC together for a discounted price. I don't remember how much it was, so I jumped on it. It's okay. You fly around Alaska and Hawaii. That's it. It's not even a whole continent. It's just 2 states. They're pretty detailed. Up close, they're a little rough, but from a distance, the water and the terrain looks pretty decent. But there's really not much to it, honestly, and that's a little unfortunate that it didn't get the support to keep the development going. But yeah, at this point I'm kind of stuck with what I got, which stinks a little bit, but okay nonetheless. Microsoft Flight, decent game. Next game's Stalker, Call of Pripyat, or however you say that. I believe that game's a couple years old. It's a DirectX 11 game on the PC, so it's one of the first DX11 games I think that came out, and it's still used as a benchmark for a lot of video cards and things like that. You see Newegg, they'll put videos, and that'll be one of the benchmarks they use. It's a first-person shooter game. It's I'd compare it to kind of something like Fallout or Metro. It's sort of a post-apocalyptic first-person shooter game. It's decent. I mean, it didn't grab me as much as I thought it would. It's got cool atmosphere, and but I mean, the story itself is sort of confusing, and it's I believe the second or third game in the series. So it just sort of throws you in, and you don't get much explanation to the backstory. They expected you to play those previous games. I didn't buy those previous games, so I just went with this one because it's the most recent one that had better graphics and things like that. So unfortunately, I'm a little lost. I don't really know what's going on or how to do much in that game. It has a bit of a cult following, so I'm hoping maybe I can jump back into it at some point, but at this point, I'm a little burnt out on first-person shooters, so it's just sort of stuck in the pile, honestly. But it's an okay game. Again, I got it in the Steam summer sale for pretty cheap. I want to say it was like $5 also. So it was worth trying. It was one of those games, again, that I've seen come up here or there. I always wanted to try, so I jumped on it when I got the deal. Next game is a independent game. It's called Stacking. Got it during the Steam summer sale. It's made by Double Fine, which I believe is the Tim Schafer's studio, the guys that make like Brutal Legend and Psychonauts, a lot of those games that have a cult following also. A very unique style to it. I love the aesthetic of the game. The premise is that you play as the Russian stacking dolls, if you've ever seen those. They come in sets of 4 or 5 where they're hollowed out dolls, and they're progressively smaller. So you have the biggest one, and the next smallest size fits inside that one, and so forth and so forth. So you have 4 or 5 dolls stacked together like that, and you play as a small stacking doll, and the object is to stack into larger sized dolls, and each one of those have specific abilities and powers and things like that that help you solve puzzles throughout the level. It's such a unique concept. It's very cool, very well done. It's got a great sense of humor. The game. It's very cool, very funny game. Everything's done in the sort of turn of the century, like Industrial Revolution style. So there's a lot of airships and like trains. And it's not like steampunk. I guess industrial would be how I call it. But it's just a really cool, stylish game, and it's definitely worth a shot. I would recommend that for anyone that's willing to try it. It's on Xbox Live. I think it's on PlayStation Network. I got it on Steam. It's on there as well. It's a great game. I definitely recommend trying it. Very well done. I'm almost done with it. I think I'm on the last level, about halfway through that, so I'll go back and finish that up. Maybe tonight. We'll see what happens. But it's a very cool game. Stacking, definitely, wholeheartedly recommend that. And the last game I picked up is Splinter Cell Chaos Theory, which I believe is a last-gen game. I think it was on the original Xbox and like PS2 and GameCube. But it's always had really high regard. People love that game. I always love all the Splinter Cell games, even the new one. I like that one too. But really enjoyed the old games when those came out. I love stealth-based games, always have. And so this, out of the sort of original group, the last-gen Splinter Cell games, is everyone's favorite. Most people like it for the co-op multiplayer. Unfortunately, I didn't really buy it for that. I just bought it for the single-player mode and the story, which itself has been okay. Pretty standard Splinter Cell fare. It's well done. It's a lot better controlled on the computer than I would have thought it was. I was a little disappointed to find out that it didn't support a Xbox controller. I have one for the PC. It didn't support that natively. You have to like download other software to get stuff to work, and I wasn't about to mess with that. So I was a little apprehensive of how it would work with a keyboard and mouse, but it's actually really well done. It's very intuitive. After a while, you get used to it, and it's really nice. It's good graphics for the time too. It looks pretty nice even today. Just awesome game. I love those Splinter Cell games, so I think I got that dirt cheap. Again, like another $5 game, so it was worth trying because I've always wanted to try it. So I really enjoy it. And that concludes all the pickups I've bought since November. So it's the most I've had in a video in a long time, but keep in mind it's been months since I made a video. But look forward hopefully to videos in the future. Like I said, I just recently picked up a retro system off eBay. A pretty rare retro system. Got a good deal on it. So I'll make that video when I get in, and we'll explore that together. So hopefully look forward to more videos in the future. Thanks for sticking around, guys. I promise I will be a little more active. I'll try to be more active. But for now, NateGrit321, signing out.